get ready, about to bridge that gap. Resilience in the veins, heartbeat bounce. Count the scars like stars, every ounce. Transformation anthem, blow up, ignite. Stefan's world, stepping into that light. Shine from within, let the love show. Rise above the noise, let your soul glow. Unstoppable force, inner fire on the go. Welcome to the stage, the Glow Up Show.
Well, hello, Dons and Divas. Welcome to the Glow Up Show with Ebony B and Angie B. Today's episode is called The Financial Literacy, honey, where we're diving into actionable ways to level up your financial game. Now, we are thrilled to have our special guest, Miss Sabrina. She will be live on the Glow Up Show with us in a little bit, and she will share her wisdom on financial empowerment. So don't forget to follow us on social media. Share the episode with your friends and make sure you check us out. We have been so excited to have Sabrina on the show, Angie. Like, when you told me about her and when I got a chance to research her and all the enthusiasm in your voice, I was like, who is this queen? So, Angie, thank you so much, girl. We just blowing up, and this soft girl era feels real good.
It does. And I'm super, super excited to have Sabrina on the show as well. I've been following her for a while and watching her rise, and she's got some really, really good things in the work. She's super, super, wise, and just has a lot of gems that she's been dropping in the meantime of me getting to know her and just watching her rise from where she started. And I can't wait for her to share her story and her expertise with us. So I'm excited to have her too.
Listen, we are excited now. Sabrina is the CEO and founder of the Money Glow Up LLC. She has an amazing financial planner, or a glow up planner, that's going to be coming out sometime early. Let me not give it away. She going to tell y'all when you can glow up with this planner. So I am excited about that. But before we get into that, I want to give a big shout out to all of our supporters on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X. We really appreciate you guys, and we encourage you guys to put your financial questions or anything that you have, like as far as finances, in the comments, and we'll make sure to answer them. And if you do have some tips, share that with us. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it with this money minute. Let's take a little minute to talk about some money real quick. So listen, the money minute, we're going to talk today about the money minute. It's all about saving effortlessly. So set up an automatic transfer to your savings account on payday. Like, trust me, this adds up. Now, you can take a percentage from your check. I didn't even know this, but I found this out later on, like within my check-ins and my savings. With my direct deposit, I can tell my bank, hey, deposit $25 every paycheck into this account. Or you can use apps like Mint, and I believe Acorn. I also use Cash App, believe it or not, for stocks. So I do have Amazon, and I do have Disney. But when I spend with my Cash App card, the remaining balance to the dollar will go into that stock. So if I spend 50 cents, 50 cents will go into my Amazon stock. And every time I make a purchase, it will add on to that. And another thing that I like to do is give my savings account or my dream account a purpose and a name. So when we're doing your digital banking or you name an account, I name mine my dream account, because it's $25 is going towards my dream every paycheck. So I wanted to share that with you. Angie, did you want to share a tip for a financial money minute?
I'm just excited to hear what Sabrina has going for us. I love the tip about the Cash App stocks, because that one I didn't know. I've been a saver for a really long time, so I've pretty much I pay myself first. The old adage, pay yourself first, You can decide what that amount is. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If it's $5, you could start out with that. And so that's really all I have for now.
Oh, I love that. Savings is always a good thing. Me and hubby was just sitting down. Me, hubby, and my son, he's of age, was sitting down and we were going over our financials and looking into savings. But hey, we're going to leave it to the expert when she get up in here. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B. You're now tuned in live to the Glow Up Show with me, Angie B. Yes. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the page so you can stay updated on the glow up. Let's go ahead and get into this Valentine's Day look. Now it is February. It's our month, honey. All the February Pisces, all the February birthdays stand up, and we're going to get into some V-Day Glam. I have two beauty influencers that I love, which is Savannah and Pretty Tisa, that we're going to show you guys today. So let's get into this nice little soft glam look that I'm going to try to recreate on my Valentine's Day. Let's go. I love this natural look here. I love to keep it natural. My favorite color is purple. So I just started with some nice plums and a little bit of a neutral on my lid and a little berry on my lips, just for that look for Valentine's Day. I don't know what the weather is going to look like, so I like to stay kind of, neutral. Sometimes it can be nice, sometimes it can be raining, but at least my face will stay natural throughout that day. Yeah. And I
like how subtle that turned out. Mm-hmm. I like how subtle the
girls are turned out. Really going natural. Mm-hmm. The girlies are doing a lot more natural than what we used to. We used to go like Vogue. I guess times is different. We in a different. Well, no, I take that back because I see other queens doing a thing. What are you planning on doing for your look, Angie?
I think I'm gonna just keep it with the light pinks. I have a pink suit that I just got that I'm super excited to wear. So I think I'm going to keep it just, pink, white. I think I'm going to do the Neapolitan, the brown. I try to look that was similar. I think we, when we were working on makeup last time, I tried to look that was like pink, brown, and white. It was very cute. It was giving Neapolitan ice cream, and I'm feeling very tasty. So I'm going to do a tasty look for for Valentine's Day. Match my pink suit.
Yes. Well, let me get into this look with Savannah, because that's right, honey. Look, Diva says she feeling tasty, and I'm here for it. I'm gonna try to play this video for you guys. It is a short. It's by Savannah Skylar. She's on YouTube. But let's show the queen some love, and let's see how this shows up. She is gorgeous. She is stunning. Savannah is, I just can't. I'm looking at this look and it's like, yeah, I definitely want to do this. I want to be extra. I love the pink hearts in the corner. I love the berry, subtle, kissable lip.
It all
slay Savannah for the gods. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we want to see your Sweetie Day looks. I know the girls are going to Galentine's, so I love a good Galentine's party. Shout out to the divas that do that, and we do the Galentine's parties outside of what you're doing, because we do have single ladies out there, and it ain't always about having a boo. Okay, it's nice to have one, but I love when the girlies get together and girly. That it just makes me happy. All right. So we're going to keep on moving on. That was our glam look on today. Again, follow her on YouTube, Savannah Schuyler. Again, that's Savannah Schuyler. She has looks for every occasion, every day, and she lives in Tokyo. So shout out to the queen over there in Tokyo doing her beauty influencer thing. So I was like, okay, she's actually from the island. She's from Jamaica, but she moved to Tokyo, and it has been an experience and a journey for her. So I'm so proud of her. And she just recently won an award for influencer with CoverGirl. So snaps for the queen. All right. Moving on. Now that we got that look out the way, we want to go ahead and bring in our special guest. You guys have been waiting for her. We have been waiting for her. Thank you guys for sharing all the promo throughout the week. We really appreciate you. But we're going to bring Savannah live. Sabrina. I've still got Savannah on my mind. Miss Sabrina from the Money Glow Up LLC. Sabrina, welcome to the Glow Up Show, honey, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, man. You are doing some incredible things glowing up that money. And we definitely want to hear from you and your expertise and your journey. So for those who don't know who you are, could you please let them know who you are and tell them a little bit about yourself, babe?
Oh, so much. Well, I started off poor. And I started going around asking the people that I knew that had millions of dollars, how did they make it? There was a family that I had met. I got my real estate license. I started selling real estate. And I started learning how to build wealth from a family that I started selling houses for. And that's where it all started for me. So what she told me was they built their wealth with real estate. And so that was her advice. They had businesses, real estate. And that's where I started learning about money. Who I am now, I have grown into a brand and a motivator. I'm a motivator, and that's what I want to do. I really want to help people. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I don't have anything new for people. Building wealth has been here since the beginning of time. What I do have is a story of not coming from wealth, not coming from an affluent family, not having the same opportunities that some other people had when they were building wealth. I started from absolutely nothing, and I built from the ground to where I am now. And where I am now is in a very, very comfortable space. And I have gained enough knowledge where I can guide other people into a path of financial freedom.
That is beautiful. Can you can you share with us a defining moment where your financial mindset shifted?
Ooh. Because, so I always knew that wealth was possible for anyone. And I was so hungry for how is this going to happen? So, I thought that having a Mercedes was the status symbol. So I bought one. And then I realized that I still wasn't financially free. I was still searching for this financial freedom that I'm sorry. I have a son here. Let me let me get him to stop.
That's okay.
In the house. Give me 1 second.
You said we a mommypreneur. We're just fun with that.
Where was I?
Oh, just where your the defining moment where your financial mindset.
The defining
shifted.
moment, yes. So I'm looking around, I'm trying to find out like what is the formula. And my friend at the time, Steve, who was the son of the lady who I used to ask a lot of questions to, one day, and he saw me searching for this, and he says, I want you to read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right now, mind you, this is in 2005.
Oh God, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yes.
This was in 2005, so it wasn't as, where it is now. And now everybody knows the book, but back then I had never heard of it. And for those that don't know, it's by Robert Kiyosaki, and it's an old book. But he kept telling me to buy this book, and I didn't. And then one day he showed up and he gave me the book. Like, if you're not going to buy it, here's the book. And that was the defining moment, because reading that book, it completely shifted my mindset.
Oh, and I love that. I'm literally right now, shout out to Audible, shout out to Rich Dad Poor Dad, shout out to Dave Ramsey. I am reading Think Rich, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but it's called The Black Choice. I read the original, I listened to the original one, and now I'm listening to there's 3 revised versions, and I have it on my tablet. I have it on my phone. I'm usually moving about, but I love to listen to lectures and biographies and stuff like that. But the one I'm reading right now is The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires by Dennis Kimbrough, but it was originally made by Napoleon Hill. So a book can change and will change your life. So I am 100% in agreement with you on that one, Sabrina.
That is where education comes from, our books. And so, yeah, pick up a book. I have 2 coming out this year, which we can talk about later. But, these are, and that's, it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was The Automatic Millionaire. It was the 10-minute workday, or the 4-hour workday. It was years of me studying books, wealth books, self-help books. In the Meantime by Ayanla Van Zandt. Just so, let's see. Gosh, there's so many of them. Not Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Just all about growth, whether it's finance or self-growth. But I was just hungry for knowledge, but you can't just take the knowledge. You have to implement it. And I think that's where
you have to
people start to fall short. Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with you on that. And just going into some like money tips and strategies, what are 3 practical tools or tips for someone who wants to start improving their finances today? Like, what are 3 steps that they can do to start improving today?
Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to mention is something that Angie already mentioned, and that was to pay yourself first. So before you pay any of people think, okay, I'm going to pay all my bills, and then whatever's left over, I'm going to save. Well, you're never going to have anything left over if that's the case. So the reason why pay yourself first is important, and a shift in mindset. And I'm going to tell you how this works. Because even when I was at one of my lowest paying jobs, I was still building wealth. And the reason was because I paid myself first. And if I did not have enough money to pay my bills, guess what? I found a way. I got a second job. I hustled up some money. I figured it out, but I never stopped paying myself first. That is why that works better than, I'm going to pay all my bills, and then whatever's left over, I'll save. Because once your bills are paid, you're fine. You're not going to, that hustle's not going to kick in. So that's one of the first things. The second thing is one goal, one action. So people get overwhelmed when they try to fix everything at once, right? So you kind of want to pick one thing. So whether it's paying $500 or saving $500 or paying off a credit card, pick one thing and focus on that. And fix your credit. Credit is, I don't even use my credit very much, but when I need it, when that refrigerator goes out, I can go and pick one up from Lowe's and I don't pay any interest because my credit is A1. Okay, I have an 800 credit score. And let me see, I'm gonna think of one more. Every time you're gonna buy something, decide if this is a wealth building item or if it is just an expense, because most of the things that we're buying are not going to make us money. So a lot of the things we purchase are it's just money down the drain. So when you're buying something, I would do that. And then here's the trick, right? Because your money is going to make money. So your mindset should be, okay, I will buy myself that, I'm gonna buy myself that Coach handbag for $400, but I'm gonna buy it with the money I make off of my investments, my stocks. If I can make $400 off my stocks, then I can buy that purse. But until then, I don't deserve that purse. I'm not gonna go and struggle and work hours and hours at a job to purchase a bag. But if my money is making money, then I deserve it. That is when you can truly afford the purse or handbag or pocketbook or whatever people call it. I say handbags or purse. I know in the South they say pocketbook, but yeah.
I thought the East Coast was the one we say pocketbook.
Do you? So yeah, in California we say handbags, but whatever you call it, that's when you can afford it, when your investments are paying for it. And those are my tips.
Angie, you got questions, so I'm gonna throw it over to you, honey.
All right, yeah. So I had a couple questions, Sabrina, because you're talking about building wealth, and we're giving tips. And I know a little bit of your backstory, and so can you share just a few things that you feel comfortable sharing about where you were? What place were you in when you started to read the books and get curious, and what it was like? I know at one point we talked about it, you didn't have a car.
Hi.
And there's a lot of people out there in that situation.
Girl, I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. All I had was a real estate license. And I had a baby. I had a 9-month-old baby. And I was staying with my parents. I had not sold my first house. And I didn't have that many people believe in me at the time. But my cousin and his wife, shout out to them, Louis and Lola, they let me sell them a home. And Lola then referred me to her sister. Now, I was borrowing a car to show them homes. And it was a Nissan Sentra. This is how much hustle I had in me. I was borrowing somebody's car to show the houses, and the starter was no good. So every time we stopped to look at a house, I would have to have my client pop the hood so I could tap it with the hammer, and she would start the car up, try it, and then we would go to the next house. I ran out of gas showing this lady houses. Let me tell you something. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, just fire me right now. I was so embarrassed. And she was like, we are not going to fire you. Her husband brought a gas can and put gas in it. And I just had that drive. That drive is, you got to have that fire. So I did that. I sold her house. I ended up selling like 5 houses in 1 month. I made like $25,000 in 1 month. But that wasn't like, you know, it was a huge boost for me, and it helped me to clean my credit up at the time, and it helped, but my mindset still wasn't where it was supposed to be. And I kind of went up and down with, you know, trying different things. Again, like I told you guys, you know, I thought the Mercedes was it, and, you know, I was still trying to figure it out. But ultimately, you know, that's where I started from. And when I did make that $25,000, I went to a car auction and I bought a car for $4,500. It had a big old dent in the side, but it ran really well. And it was a Mazda, and I bought that car, and I you know, it was up from there. It was up from there. It took time. It took hustle. It took grind. But yeah. It wasn't easy. The road was hard. It was really, really hard. And a lot of people probably, you know, would have given up with some of the things that I had been through. But I am here today, and it did not happen overnight. Where I am today took years to build. And that's another thing. People will think that $1 million is supposed to happen overnight. It happens brick by brick. You don't build a house overnight. You know, you start with one brick. So that's without going into the whole story. You know, the whole story I will go through in my book. The Money Glow Up Guide. Yeah. It'll be in the Money Glow Up Guide, but because it is a long story, and I don't want to take it, you know, I can take up the whole time we're on the podcast telling the story, but that is where I started. And yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a really long road, but once I treat money like a game now, right? So once I figured out the game, now it is now it's just fun. Now it's just fun to see how many streams of income I can build, you know, and that, listen, when that's the other thing people don't know is most millionaires have multiple streams of income. You got to have 4 or 5 streams of income. Passive income is a big buzzword that everybody needs to write it down. Passive income. You got to have that. You got to have passive income if you want to be a millionaire. But you don't have to have the type of hustle I have to get there. You know, I have multiple plans, and even if all of my entrepreneurial ventures fail, I'm still going to retire a millionaire because I have paid myself first and I have invested those funds.
Thank you, Sabrina. And on your way up and where you're going, you still have a 9-to-5.
I do.
So
I do.
You're doing multiple things, and I appreciate that you're sharing all these gems, because what you see on TV is these millionaires come out here with all these boats and these yachts, and people get these big ideas of, if it doesn't happen overnight, then people who, especially people with low self-esteem, it reinforces for them that they're not worth it. Maybe they don't deserve it. Maybe they're not working hard enough. So I'm glad that you shared that you started out with that car and opening the hood and it taking years. And now you're here and you're still building, but you were there and now you're here. And that's important for people to see, especially the young people watching the podcast who may have come from a background where their parents didn't talk about money, or maybe they don't talk about money. I don't know if your parents talked about money, but it's possible to come from no money, literally pay yourself $5 or $20 a month and then be where you're at. So I'm super excited that you're on the show to share your wisdom with us and to share your experiences, because people need to know that everyday people like you that still have a 9-to-5 are making their dreams come true, and being as successful as you've become, you haven't quit your 9-to-5, because that's also one of your hustles.
Yeah, my 9 to 5 is well. First of all, my 9 to 5 is
Mhm.
I make over 200,000 a year at my 9 to 5 now because I have built. I've been at my job for 16
Mhm.
years. I started off part time at that job, and I have worked my way up in the ranks at my job. So, um, you know,
Mhm.
definitely don't discount. It's a government job. Definitely don't discount the 9 to 5s. I tell anybody, if I lost this job today, I'm not too good to flip burgers. I'm not too good to mop floors because I am a hustler. I'm going to do
Okay.
whatever it takes to bring in the money.
That
I am
work
going to,
ethic is crazy. Yeah, and that's the
right.
thing. You have great work ethic, and that's what it takes to make money.
It does. You have to have the work ethic, and you have to be humble.
Yeah. What they
You got to
don't
be
tell you
humble.
with this what they don't tell you with this entrepreneurial life, and I would love for you to speak into it, is people don't realize when you work for yourself, you actually work more hours than you do working for other people. People think it's the opposite, but you really work for yourself longer hours than you do,
And it's more
right?
stressful. It's more stressful. I have done the 100% entrepreneurial road without having the job. And it's stressful, because you don't know where your next job, when it's coming. So when you're trying to get it started, that is, I love the security of having my job on top of having, my other hustles on the side. But the one thing that it is going to provide for me in just a few more years is a lifetime passive income from my pension. So it is just one of my other, avenues of wealth building.
Thank you. I'm gonna throw it back over to Eb now. Diva Ebony B.
All right. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. You're now tuned in live to the Glow Up Show with Diva Ebony B and Angie B. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the page. And be sure to click that notification bell when you know when the next glow up will be happening. We got Miss Sabrina from the Money Glow Up here live in the glow up with us. I'm super excited. And we talking about that with financial literacy. We are lit with our finances from savings to credits. And I really appreciate your grind and your drive,
Mhm.
Sabrina, because that's what it's going to take. And a lot of us would say, my job, my 9 to 5, but it is another source of income. Your job, whether you be PRN, whether you be part-time, whether you be full-time, working overtime, this is another stream of income to support the other things that you have going on. We do have finances and expenses, but I look at even a job where I'm at, or if I pick up a shift as a traveling medical professional, I'm PRN, I could be full-time, I could pick up a 6-week contract. I love to look at jobs as contracts. That way it keeps me in a mindset of a mindful entrepreneur. And I know that this contract that I'm on right now is funding my dream, is funding my business, is another source of income. So I can make Vans make her dance. All I heard was Vans make her dance. We got to make those Vans dance. And that's what that looks like. So that's how her Vans will make her dance. Hey, Vans will make her dance. More money in the account, the better, but we gotta have some strategy. We gotta have some technique. If we are trying to get to our goals, we have to first look at and take a hard look at our habits. And that's one thing that, I know that we're in February, it is a new year, but my son had made a statement because we were going over our yearly goals and breaking down the 6 months and what my goals. But I'm more focusing on my habits to get to my goals, because if I don't focus on my habits, then I won't complete my goals. And I was like, okay, little Wody son, the student is teaching the teacher now. And don't think, if you a young person, do not think that you don't have value to add to a conversation, because your value can come in the form of experience, and it also can come in the form of a question. So please ask questions. That's important. So, Sabrina, my next question for you, and we're talking about building wealth. We're on the building wealth topic. So, what are some common money myths that hold people back from building wealth?
I don't have enough money to invest. That's the biggest one that I hear that's a huge myth. Everybody has money to invest. If you have money to go buy yourself a pair of Jordans, then you have money to invest. That is the one and biggest one. I live a very humble life, and that is because most of my money is being invested. So if I could think of another money myth, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much the one and only that I can think of in the moment, is that I don't have enough money to invest.
And I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have enough money, but for those who say they don't have enough money, they ain't looked at their money. Because if you got enough money to go out and get that cheesesteak or that fried rice, or you got enough money to go get that pho, you got enough money to go get that front lace, you got enough money to go get that foundation, you got enough money to go get that skincare. You are investing like you do. Starbucks, yep, Starbucks. Yo, Starbucks is hitting us. Well, not us, because I don't go to Starbucks, but Starbucks is hitting people in the head. I'm talking about $100, close to $100 every week, faithfully, like clockwork. Like you're spending $400 a month. And I'm not judging. We listen. We don't judge. I'm not judging. I'm just saying you got the money. And my next question on the building wealth, Sabrina, is, in your opinion, say it again, Sabrina.
Let me put these on so I can see better.
There you go. Look at it. The better to see you with, my dear. The better to give you the game with.
Put her glasses on. It ain't got serious. You know what?
Like, let me put my hair up. I'm ready to
say, listen, we got to put the glasses on because she means business. Now, Sabrina, in your opinion, what's the best first step towards investing for beginners?
Great question.
The best, I'm sorry? I'm sorry, the best what?
The best first step.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is, in your opinion, what's the first step towards investing for beginners?
The best first step would be to open up an investment account. So I have the instructions for that. I think I have it on my website. I definitely have it on the Latinas on Wall Street Instagram page, but I will also upload it onto my personal Facebook page. But open up an investment account and start automatically putting money in there every paycheck. Make it $20 and start buying some stock or invest in the S&P 500. I know that you mentioned savings accounts, and if you're going to just do a savings account, make sure it's a high yield savings account. Make sure it's a CD account or something that's earning a bigger percentage, because a regular savings account isn't going to make you any money. So if you have a CD account right now, I think they're paying between 4 and 5% annually. So, if you're going to hold on to your money, hold it there. But honestly, you're going to get more bang for your buck in the stock market. And I would go for an index fund like the S&P 500, which I think they're, on average, you make about 12% a year investing in that. So that would be the first step that I would tell people to do. But honestly, you get into some of these other stocks like Apple. I mean, it's gone up 50% in the past year or two. So you can really hit in some of these stocks. You just have to stay with the solid ones. The companies you use. You going to Starbucks every day, then buy some Starbucks
Now,
stock.
Target just recently, Angie, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Yep, I'm gonna throw it over to you when I'm asking this question. Target just recently, their stocks went down 29% as of today, and that was because they decided to remove their DEI initiative. So their stocks went down. Do I think that Target is going to go anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I think that their stocks has took a hit because now their stocks I think is worth like $120 something for a stock right now? When a company goes through or a business go through, because the stock market goes up and down, would this be a good time for me to purchase some stock in Target because their stocks are low and they may eventually grow up? I don't know if they'll come back from this, or should I just leave it as is and look into going into another stock because they may not recover from their decision to not include gender, race, and ethnic backgrounds?
People thought that Zillow was going to go under when they had some big scandal take place several years ago, and their stocks went way, way, way down. They were like caught in some kind of scheme where they were purchasing all these properties, fixing them up, reselling. They were like trying to have a monopoly, and their stocks took huge hits, and they didn't go under. So do I think Target is going to? No. You have too many middle Americans that love Target. Like,
yeah, they
Target, you got kids walking around with the miniature little Target. The Target ain't going nowhere. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to buy some Target stock myself. Don't take my financial advice as far as what stocks to purchase. That is because there is risk in purchasing stocks, especially if you don't plan on holding it long term. But the name of the game is buy low, sell high. Same thing with real estate. You buy low, you sell high. So, yeah, I think that it would be, a good time to purchase. But I've been wrong before.
All right. A good
I wouldn't be afraid to purchase Target at all.
And we all have.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to purchase.
All right.
Target
Well, Angie, I'm going to throw it over to you, my love.
So we're talking about.
I'm gonna throw it over to you, love.
All right. So we're talking about building wealth, and Sabrina has mentioned buying stocks, investing, savings accounts. Are there ways for kids to start building wealth, or what are some of the ways that parents can start talking to their kids and teaching them about how to build wealth?
Oh, there is a book by a friend of mine. His name is Ty Allen Jackson, and he wrote a book. Hold on, I need to pull this up. Ty Allen Jackson wrote a book about teaching children financial literacy. I'm pulling it up right now. The book is called it is called, what is this? Danny's Dollar. That's what it is. Ty Allen Jackson, Danny's Dollar. He is an awesome influencer on Instagram, and he goes around to schools talking about Danny's Dollar. And I think that this would be a great place to start teaching your kids about financial literacy. And he's a really great, nice guy, super humble. So you can follow him at Ty, Ty _Allen, ALLAN _Jackson on Instagram. And aside from that, my kids, so I started teaching my daughter about buying stocks when she was about 9 years old. And we were at Starbucks, and I was explaining to her, how the stock market works. Like, oh, you buy a stock, from a company that you like, and and then you'll make money off of it, or you won't. And she said, well, like, can I buy stocks in Starbucks? And I was like, yes, like you can. And that was the big thing with her. With my son now, he has a savings account that I put a few dollars in, every few weeks or so. I'll put a few dollars in there. And once he reaches a certain amount, I intend on opening an E-Trade account for him. And I'm just going to stick his money in the S&P, like I said, for other people to do, so that his savings can grow. And all his birthday money and all that money, because our kids have everything, right? They don't need anything. So when they get that birthday money, and have them decide how they want to invest it, instead of teaching them like, oh, what do you want to go shopping for? Okay, you got $200 for your birthday, let's take 100 of it, and you decide what stocks you want. Let them pick whatever stocks they want. If they win, if they lose, it'll be in there long enough to make money. But let them pick what they want to buy. Roblox.
Yeah.
Let them buy stock in Roblox, and then let them have the other $100. And that's how I would teach them to invest, because you got to get them started in the mindset. If you start them now, then it'll just be automatic for them. They're just going to know how to do this.
That's great advice. So if we go all the way back, I know we're talking about building wealth, money mindset, and all of these different ways that it can look. Before we get there, we have to explore our relationship with money. So how would you suggest people go about exploring their relationships with money? Because I think too, like something you had said earlier that stuck with me is you said, well, I paid myself first, and then you used the word deserve. I can't remember what context you used it in, but I feel like paying yourself first, I know at least for me, that helped me feel like I deserved money because I was paying myself first, even when I felt like I couldn't afford it or didn't want to do it or whatever. And I always feel better when I pay myself first, because I know what that means for me in the long run. And I think that can carry, like your attitude about money can carry over into your attitude about a lot of things. So what is your take on that, or your feedback on that?
Yeah, so the mindset thing it's so ingrained in especially in our communities, people of color, where they feel like they have to spend everything to look the part, right? And that is the absolute worst mindset to be in, because you're never going to build anything with that mindset. And it's so ingrained in people. It's almost sad that the communities of color, Black and brown people, are wired to spend and consume. And the shift is going to happen when the education happens. And that's why that's why I'm doing this, because I want to see all of us win. The shift in mindset is going to happen when people are being educated on it. You don't know what you don't know. And even if you're being taught, unless you're seeing it and you see it working for somebody else, you're still not going to believe that it's possible. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I created the money. No. But seriously, that is exactly why I created the Money Glow Up Planner, because I want to give people a tool that is going to, this is not just, I didn't create this so that I can this ain't going to make me all this money. Like, it may make some, but it is going to be more of a tool to help people. And it's something that because I can sit here and talk. And guess what? As soon as people turn off their computers, they're going to forget half of what I talked about.
Mm,
But this tool
good.
is going to remind them every
Mm-hmm.
month. Every time they go to write down an appointment, it's going to remind them to stay on track, to keep building that wealth. Every month, it's going to remind them to put that savings away, or to, it's going to give them money tips. It's going to just reinforce every single day that they open that planner up to write something in it. It's going to reinforce all the lessons that I have and all the knowledge that I have, and that I have learned from all the people that came before me. So yeah, that's when the shift happens, is when it's taught and it's reinforced.
Thank you. And speaking of shift, one thing that's beautiful,
We are
by the way.
excited.
I am so
I'm excited
excited.
too.
So this is just a mock-up. This is not the actual cover, but isn't that cute?
It is cute.
It's so cute. It's gonna be beautiful, y'all. It's
It's
gonna
cute.
have gold pages, like the foil pages around the side, and it's gonna be a nice, like a leather bound. It's gonna be a beautiful book, something that you can hold and value. It's gonna feel like money. It's gonna make you want to open it. It's gonna make you want to carry it with you everywhere you go, because it's gonna be pretty. And it's going to teach you how to glow up.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of those. Yes. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of those books and tools that is going to change one of our lives in somebody else's life. Just like the Rich Dad Poor Dad book changed your mindset when you had that shift and say, you know what, this is where I'm about to glow up. So I definitely wanted to make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It's coming 2025. So when it does hit, we will make sure we let you guys know right here on the Glow Up Show. Back to you, Angie.
It's okay. And it's one of the ways people can invest in themselves, right? By purchasing that book, that planner, and then getting their money glow up on. I just had one last question that I wanted to ask you, Sabrina, and that was, with all the things we're talking about, and then I would be remiss not to mention what's going on with our economy right now, and what's going on with inflation and the president and all these things. People are worried. So I know that we're talking about building wealth and all of these things, but what would you say about it? What are your thoughts on it in the context of people being worried about, this unknown economic time that we live in, and trying to build wealth during a time like this?
I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. This is the second term for this president. And, you had a bunch of, I don't like to get political. I don't feel like it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. But one thing I will say is this. One thing about this leader that we have now is that he is very big on creating wealth for the people that he's involved with, right? And how do you think those people are building their wealth? They are investing in the stock market. They are doing the very same things that we are telling you to do. So I made a lot of money the first time this president was in office, and I've made a lot of money since he's gotten back in. So it's mindset. It's mindset. If you have a scarcity mindset, you will never have anything.
Mm.
It doesn't matter who's in office. There's so much money floating around. It's all about you. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what the economy, like. You have to be you can generate, and it's all about what you're going to attract to you. So if your mindset is, I'm worried that this person is, then it's not going to be there. It's the grind, it's the hustle, it's the mindset. So I'm not worried about the economy or the climate of who's in office. Like it doesn't move me one way. I don't even follow politics, to be honest with you. Like I don't talk. I can't even have a decent conversation about it because I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow politics either, but I know that there are people that do, and there are people who, like we talked about it when we were chatting the other night about how there's people that are one paycheck away from the street. I'm not going to call anybody out, but one of the other people on the show right now said, well, I'm not one paycheck away, and everybody doesn't have that mindset, is why I'm bringing that up. And so I think it's important to address it so that people do know that exactly what you said. Yeah, we're living in these times, but trust me, somebody's making money. Everybody's not broke. You know what I mean? So it's how you think about it and connecting. I think it's having these conversations and addressing that, which could be the elephant in the room for some people. Like, man, my rent is more, this bill is more, so I'm never going to be able to do this or that now, but you're saying that they can. And I think people need to hear that.
I don't care if you are scrubbing toilets for a living. You can be a millionaire if you invest that money. You do not have to make a lot of money to become a millionaire.
It'll be a whole lot easier once that.
And I also think it's teaching us. Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think it's teaching a lot of us and a lot of people. Yeah, I think it's teaching a lot of people in America a valuable lesson about depending on the government and government funds, and I definitely can understand how, politics can be an uncomfortable conversation, and it can be a very confusing. But one thing is clear: Trump is a businessman, and that's just what he is. He said he was. He was a businessman before he was the president. He's a businessman when he was the president. He was a businessman when he wasn't a president. He was a businessman when he had all of those indictments, when he got all those felony charges. At the end of the day, he playing the game. And one thing about a lot of and it's sad because a lot of the resources for helping people overcome homelessness, addiction, those who have been criminalized by the justice system, those who have felonies and they can't get decent apartments or they can't get decent jobs because there are laws put into place that say, oh no, you are not good enough to live in this high quality neighborhood or get this high quality job because you have a felony charge. And it's teaching America a lesson because we are entrepreneurs. We were created. God created us to come to. When he created us, he said, come together and multiply. We were designed to create, which in turns mean that we are entrepreneurs. And with the propaganda that's going on with Democrats and Republicans, because I say it for you, they look like a whole bunch of babies just arguing all the time. You can't really get to a clear. You're not thinking good, you're thinking for the good. That's why Target around and found out. Walmart messed around and found out. A whole bunch of people messed around and found out when you're not just thinking about us as a human being. So that's why it's important to have multiple streams of income using the gifts, talents, skills that God gave you. Let's not forget, we as a people put these people in positions to make decisions for us. So we as the people can come together and bring our gifts, our skills, our businesses, our mindsets, our knowledge together to continue to create wealth independent from the government. We don't have to depend on them. We just give them the power to allocate our funds. Like, a lot of people would need to realize, and I'm going to go into some setbacks because I used to live in scarcity. I was that person who depended on food. When my son is 22 now, so I was that person who depended on that $3.58 in food stamps, that $215 in TANF a month, and that temporary rental assistance for the year. Who depended on Medicaid and who are dependent on those insurance. And I was that person who was applying for years on years for a Section 8 list. And when I realized, and I'm not knocking Section 8, and it is what it is. Section 8 is only a temporary tool for you to get yourself on your feet, to get educated and save some money. But what happens is if you make a certain amount more money, more than what Section 8 is allowed, this requirement, they'll cut you off. And I think for me, that is a form of control. Low income housing, this is control. If you make more money,
it keeps you
then
down
you don't
here.
qualify. And that's what a scarcity. Yeah, they'll keep you down here, but you have to want to glow up. You have to want to live and imagine and dream and go forward. You can't be stuck. And we were talking in post show that it's like fleas in a jar. You put the fleas in a jar, you put the cap on. Of course, they're going to start jumping out at first, but eventually after time, they'll stop. And then what happens is they silently take the top off, like Aldi's did. Aldi's, you my store, but I am calling you out because you secretly, y'all activated your DEI initiative, and then you secretly, you put it back. But we seen you, so it is what it is. But eventually they'll stop trying to get out because they're conditioned to their circumstances.
They think the roof is here.
I need this food stamps. They think the roof is here, and it's not. And I think that comes with us continuing to educate ourselves, being exposed to good education and good money habits, good family habits, good eating habits, farming, the horticulture, and the things that we did before we relied on the government. And I'm just going to leave that right there.
I love that. I love that.
I'm just saying, glow up. If you're going to glow, the light don't stay in the box, y'all. The light can go anywhere. And remember, when you glow up, you can go anywhere. And now that we're talking about, because what's happening right now is a setback. Those freezes that Trump did on government funding, they have affected a lot of people, including my household. But thank God we serve a good God. We don't spend from our bank account. We spend from our faith account. God already had us ready and together. But my question to you, Sabrina, is what advice would you give to someone facing financial setbacks or debt?
That's a good question.
Somebody facing financial setbacks. I have been there, and what I'm going to say is what may seem like no way out, there is always a way out, right? So say that, okay, you depends on what the financial setback is. But what I'm going to say is you can't look at the whole picture. If you have a bunch of things going on at once, focus on one thing. Or if you are having finance, still pay yourself first. Still put that savings up. If you're being evicted, still put that savings up. Still keep paying yourself first. That is you are more important than any other bill collector out there. So you got to keep paying yourself first. I'm not saying lose your house over paying yourself first, but what I'm saying is if you already gonna be that way, then if you're paying yourself first, when something like that comes up, you have it to fall back on in an emergency. I don't touch my savings in an emergency. I figure out a way to get some money because, like I said, there's a lot of ways. For some people, they may need to get a second job if they're having financial setbacks. They may need to, they may need to pull out of their 401k. But my advice is keep looking forward and don't let it break you. One thing that I had going for me when I was very, very broke is that I knew what I was capable of and where I belonged. And I knew I didn't belong borrowing somebody's car and tapping on a starter to start the car. I knew I belonged, with the millionaires. I knew I belonged with people that had money, and I just didn't know how to get there. So financial setbacks, just keep looking forward. Read, 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 read all the books you can on money, finances, and personal growth. Because not just about money, it's about growing inside. And Angie, you would know this as a life coach. You know, it's also about learning how to manage your emotions, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know, how
true.
to self-regulate, and you know, it's all one. It's all tied together. And you know, and you, Ebony, with, you know, your makeup line, and you know, you have to look good, you have to feel good, you have to do the work inside, and the finance, it's all tied together. You know, I know that we all have our own lanes in what we're teaching, but at the end of the day, it's all really one big package. It's the glow up on the outside, it's the inside, it's your finances,
Yes.
it's all of it. So the growth never stops. No matter what your finances are, no matter what setbacks you have, the growth is something that we can all benefit from. And it doesn't cost anything to grow.
That's real. That's real.
Absolutely. And I thank you for that. And just navigating those setbacks is important. You know, you got to put your star player on. Stop playing. Stop sitting around acting like the victim. Stop saying, "Oh, woe is me." All of that you got to get up and you got to tap into your star player every day. I love talking to my star player. She gets so motivated. She get mad that we ain't got no money. She get mad that ain't no savings. And I'll be like, "All right, well, what you gonna do about it?" And then she be like, "All right, girl. Well, now that you said that, because I got 5 personalities. It's 5 of us. And Queen 1000 is a strategy queen." She be like, "Okay, well, Lachey get mad about it. Ebony emotional about it." And Lachey be like, Queen 1000 be like, "Well, we need a strategy." Okay. And Diva Ebony B, make sure we stick to the strategy because she needs to see results. So I love all of those. And I just don't allow myself to be a victim. And I guess that just come from a passion of where I came from and living in the projects, living in a privatized neighborhood, living in Newark, New Jersey, you know, being a single mother, not having a high school diploma, no job skills. But one thing that I had is charisma, hustle, and enthusiasm. That brought me a long way. I'm sitting pretty right now, but I have more to do. I have more to do. Now I have to come up with more goals to stay hungry, never get comfortable. So thank you for sharing that, you know, and I hope you guys are taking something from it, which I know, I don't really hope, but I know that you guys are taking something from what we're talking about, because the setback ain't nothing but a setup for success. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Y'all ready? A setback ain't nothing but a setup for success. And you got to move with that. You got to believe that. You got to want more than you want air to breathe. Let's go ahead and get into some empowerment and financial confidence. Hey, because we got to be confident in this thing. That's why I said you got to tap into your star player. But if you're not empowerment and financial confidence, the bus gonna start right there. As a matter of fact, you're not even gonna get on it. It's not gonna happen. The bus will pull up and you're not confident enough to get on it. You're gonna stand there twiddling your thumb. So I'm gonna ask this question and I'm gonna throw it back over to Angie. You guys are now tuned in live to the Glow Up Show with me and Ebony B and Angie B. We got our special guest here, Miss Sabrina from the Money Glow Up. Make sure you check her out on Instagram. Make sure you check her out on Facebook, and make sure you glow up with her because she has the tools that you need. So, Miss Sabrina, I'm gonna ask you this question about empowerment and financial confidence. How can we break negative generational financial patterns? Not the curse, but negative generational financial patterns. How we breaking those? How we coming through? How we glowing up, Sabrina?
Every time you're about to buy something expensive, you know, like I said, ask yourself, is this a status symbol or a wealth building move?
Ooh.
You know, the status symbol is the bag. It's the Mercedes that I foolishly bought when I was 28 years old. It is, you know, it is the Jordans. It is the, you know, the Movado watches. It is the latest iPhone. Is this a status symbol or a wealth building move? That is the question you should ask yourself every single time you are going to open your pocketbook or your handbag. And that is
Right.
the best
Angie, I'm
way
gonna
you
throw it
can
over
break
to
the
you.
generational curse.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I love
good.
that. Instead of buying a Gucci bag, I'm investing Gucci.
There you go.
That part. You know, and
Yeah.
it's a whole well-oiled machine once you start putting these little, it's a bunch of little things. None of it is difficult, but it's a lot of little things. And it's just like, you know, pushing a giant rock, right? At first you can't move it. But once you get some momentum and you get it rolling, and now the ball is rolling, and now it's easier to push, and it's easier and easier, and then before you know it, that ball is rolling downhill. You know, but it takes it. You have to get the momentum going, and
Yeah.
most of us are starting from absolutely nothing. So saving $10 or $100, or it seems like you're never going to get there. But I think I said this when we had our pre-show conversation. You know, it's not until you hit, they say your first million is the hardest. And this is why, because of the mindset.
Mm.
The mindset is different before you hit that first million. Once you reach that first million, you've already got the ball rolling. And that's why the first one is the hardest, because after that, the ball is going. So it's putting that money away, and I'm telling you, once you hit the first, and it's hard to hit that first 100,000. It's hard. It is a struggle, and it takes a long time. But let me tell you something. Once you hit that first 100,000 and it's invested, and then you start looking and you see that, ooh, today I made, you know, $700 on my investments. Ooh, this month I made more in my investments than I did at my job. And you start seeing that start to flip, and you start seeing those returns. That is when it clicks. I mean, you start to see that, oh, you know, this is why it takes time, but it really does pay off. But you have to be willing to push over that hill. You got to climb that hill first. But once you get up there, I promise y'all, it gets so much easier. And then you want to start putting all the money you can in it, because you're like, oh, this is too easy. So it's just getting get the momentum. You get that momentum, and you're home free. You're gonna be a millionaire. Mm-hmm.
Sound like we
That's
building
good.
money muscle.
Yes. That's it. I like how you said that. You're building money muscle. And really, you know, what Drake said, we started from the bottom. I think that when we're going back to talking about setbacks, it sounds like your mindset and your thought process and the way your family thinks about money, those things can be setbacks. I was talking to somebody earlier, not about money, but we were just talking about the ways we grow up. You know, when people start talking about trauma, and then we talk about financial trauma and all these things, it doesn't register as trauma for people because we grow up and that's just what it is, right? So for people who grow up without money, or for people who grow up not having anything, unfortunately, some people get used to it, and they get so used to it, they think it's normal, right? And they don't want to get out of it, or they don't, like Sabrina was saying earlier, you don't know how to get out of it, but you know you don't want to be in it, right? And so it's really, really important to start that. I mean, that's a good starting place for some people. For people who can't see themselves saving $10 a month, and then you hit your first. I mean, I used to follow these guys on, it was some reality show, and I only followed it because I liked them. They used to call themselves the 100,000aires.
I
And
love that.
yeah, that's what they used to call themselves, the 100,000aires, because they weren't millionaires, but they were investing, they were doing things with their money. They were on a dating show, but whatever. They capitalized on that, but they invested it. They turned that into making money, and they called themselves the 100,000aires. Now, unfortunately, one of the people passed before they got to be millionaires. But what I'm talking about is the mindset, and that you have to start talking about yourself and thinking about yourself in those ways and in those places. I'm sure you did that. Like you said, hey, I knew that I wasn't supposed to be in a place where I was tapping on hoods to tap into some money. Like, I knew where I was supposed to be. You have to see yourself there. And just because your parents never had money, or your or whoever raised you never had money, or you guys were one paycheck away, that doesn't mean that has to be your story. And that's the thing. You have to break up with other people's stories. You have to. That's how you be with yourself. You got to break up with other people's stories. You have to break up with other people's negative mindsets about money. And they learn that. So to them, it's not negative. It's just normal. And they'll tell you you're crazy for putting away $10. But it ain't going to be so crazy when you are 100,000aire and they're still not able to save $10. And now they mad because they can't go with you. You know what I mean? So it's all of that. But it starts with that. I mean, right, sit down and actually think about, while we're talking about journaling and having a money glow up journal, part of that is look at your relationship with money. Look at what's yours, what's your family's, what was your family doing, what did you hear, how can you change that? Because you have to be able to go from being in that car with the dent in it to road. I don't care if you ended up not liking it. We all know when you drive something off the lot, it depreciates in value. You know what should go up in value? The way you think about yourself and money. So these things are what's important, right? These things are what's important. And so I love everything that you guys are saying. And it applies to the people who are there, who are ready, who want the planners, who want the makeup, who want to look good, who want the coaching, who want all the things. And then there's still people out there. There's young people who are watching this, whose parents are in positions that our parents were in, and they don't have a good mindset about it. So I'm glad that we're talking about this, because it really is a mindset thing. I follow this lady that was talking about, before she struck it rich, she was living in her car, and she used to sit in the hotel lobby of like a hotel restaurant, and she would just write in her journal. She would manifest in her journal, and she would picture herself there with those people. That's how you start. That's what you have to do. That's how you go. That's how
Absolutely. You go. Steve Jobs drove, I think it was Steve Jobs. He drove a Prius. And I think Warren Buffett is another one that drives. I drive a Honda Accord now. I had a Mercedes. I drive a Honda Accord. It's been paid for a few years. And, I love my car. It's my favorite car that I've ever owned. But it's paid for. It has everything that I need in it. And, that's my mindset now. I don't want a nicer car. I don't want a fancy car. My man likes nice cars, and he has Jaguar and all that, but that's a man thing. And, but he has that, but I have my Honda Accord, and I don't want a different car. I love my car. So you look at people like Mark Zuckerberg. He's wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and they're not walking around with big name brands on them. Steve Jobs wore a black turtleneck. He was known for the black turtleneck. That's the mindset.
Yep.
I really want to give people that. If I could give them that one jewel, it's just stop purchasing things that you cannot afford. Sorry.
No, you're right, because we're definitely consumers, and we're taught that. People of color, we're definitely taught to be consumers, have the Jordans, have the jewelry, have the Birkin bags. You gonna be broke and poor and dead and
poor.
dead.
Mm-hmm.
And in
You'll be
debt.
broke and poor. Yes. And yeah, that is the one jewel I want to give people is just stop buying things you can't afford and invest in yourself. That there's, you have, if you really love yourself, invest in yourself and just stop spending your money foolishly. I really, really, and I'm really doing this. Look, as Kevin Hart told Chris Brown, I don't have to be here. I don't have to be teaching people this, but I want to help people. Did y'all see that when he went to Chris Brown's practice, started teaching him how to dance, and then yelled at Chris Brown talking about, I don't have to be here. But no, I don't have to be teaching this. Like, I could just be living my best life doing what I want to do. But I really want I want to help people, and I really want to get through to people. So, I hope that I'm able to do that.
And you know what, Sabrina, I definitely believe that's one of the things that you will do. And I can already see it happen now. It's all come to fruition, especially with the work that you have done before. And everything that consists with your brand, and and where you are now, you are evidence. You have the formula, you have the results, you have went there, you have went through the money mistakes, you have been hungry and driven, and you made the sacrifice and stuck towards your strategies to where you are now. And you should be recognized, and we give you your roses now, and the compensation is well on its way. And I think it's important for each one to teach one. The more seeds that we plant into one another, we can all eat. Because if you got people around you and they on your team and they ain't eating, most likely you're gonna become the prey, because they're gonna want what you got. But if I teach you how to get this, and that's something that I learned. That's just street 101. If your team ain't eating, they gonna eat you. And that's the deal of it. You can't sit up there with a fat belly and think that people around you don't see you eating and they see their ribs. Yeah, you're going to become the food, baby. But on the other side of that, let's play a little rapid fire. I want to play a little game with you really quick while we go ahead and while we close up the show, coming to the end of the show. And guys, thank you for being here. Make sure you leave your comments for Sabrina, for Angie, and for me, your questions and your money tips. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and all the social media networks. But we're going to play rapid fire really quick. Sabrina, you ready?
Yes.
If you can pick between these two, would it be credit or debit?
Credit.
Can you hear me, Sabrina? Do I got a little lag? Okay,
it is lagging.
And the next one is save or invest. Okay.
Invest.
I got it right. I'm guessing before she says stuff. I like this game already.
All right. And and Sabrina, what's your favorite splurge purchase?
Oh, my favorite splurge. Well, my nails. This is forever. I've been doing this since I was 16. So my nails is definitely the splurge, and food. I'm a foodie. I like good food. So when I do want to splurge, I'll go out and vacations.
I knew I was right.
It's vacations. Yeah. I'm addicted to Disney cruises now. I've been taking my son on Disney cruises, and we go on our next one in July. We are going on an Alaskan cruise out of Vancouver, Canada, on a 5-night cruise through Alaska. So we're really excited about that. But I just started doing those.
Well, I'm excited for you. I'm going to have to hit you up to get some tips from you.
Right?
Yeah, I just started doing those in 2023. So, I didn't start vacationing until, well into my journey.
I love
And I turned
that.
50 this
All
year.
right, and last but not least, what's your personal finance motto?
Ooh.
Spend more time learning than you do watching TV.
That's good.
I don't watch TV at all. You see my TV back here has on
I
a
like
fireplace.
that.
That's what it's always on that. I don't watch television at all. I do social media, but I
I
spend
love it.
most of
And
my
now
time
we're in the
learning.
scroll era. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like that. And
Scroll.
even if you're in the scroll era, you're addicted to scroll, just change your algorithm. Unfollow all what's not feeding you, and start following those financial professionals and those coaches, and just change the food, because when you change your food, your body will start to change, your life will start to change, and you got to kick all that unhealthy stuff off your scrolling and put in some healthy stuff. So if you continue to get more tips, it's thousands of people out there who's giving financial tips, skincare and healthcare tips, coaching tips. Start following those who are passionate about it, and those who are gurus, and those who have experience. I'm definitely going to be following Sabrina. I'm definitely on her page. I follow her and made sure, because I want to know when she posts something. I want to know when she's going live. I want to know what she's doing, because I want to follow those who have used the formula, who have overcome the challenges, and who receive the success. It's not that it's all glamorous right now, but to do the work. So I am about that. Ladies, we have today have many nuggets on today. I think we deserve a cocktail. Y'all ready for a cocktail?
Bring it
Yes.
on.
I am.
Well, with that being said, I gotta. There it is. This is a financial cocktail, and this is a Smart Money Moves martini. I love a good martini. When I was in Manhattan, that's the first time I had a martini, and it was so good. So the ingredients
Let me take a
are
picture.
2 parts budgeting. Yes, take a picture, you guys. Track
Love that.
your income and expenses. 1 part of saving discipline. Aim to save 20% of your income. And then 1 part debt management. Focus on reducing high interest debt. Then we're going to do a splash of investing, even if it's just starting small. We're going to do a dash of emergency funds by emergency fund protections. That's 3 to 6 months of months of expenses. And then here's the instructions. Let's take all of these ingredients and put them together so we can have a real nice martini, and we can make moves. I want you to shake up your finances by reviewing your monthly budget every month. Then you're going to pour consistent contributions into savings and investment. After that, stir in the debt repayments with a focus on high interest loans first. We're going to hit it with a garnish with emergency funds to cushion the financial shocks, because we know life be lifing and it be happening. And then last but not least, sip responsibly. You don't gulp a martini, you sip, honey. So sip. Review your financial plan quarterly, and cheers to your financial health, y'all. Take a picture of this. I'm definitely going to post it on the page. I'm going to send it to Sabrina so she can post it, but we all deserve a drink, because life be life and we be thirsty, honey. I'm going to throw it over to you, Sabrina, for some final thoughts, and then we'll throw it on to Angie. Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, thank y'all so much for allowing me to share your platform. I really appreciate it. I admire both of you so much. You guys are both so dynamic and amazing. Um, my final thoughts are, look, get the planner, follow me, and get started. Get started. I love that cocktail. That cocktail right there. That's the one. The glow up planner, it's coming. I'm thinking October-ish, September, October, maybe before, but it is coming. Follow me on Facebook. My personal Facebook is much more lively than my business ones at the moment. So follow my personal Facebook account and yeah, I just, get started. Get your glow up on.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Angie, we're going to throw it on to you, baby.
All right. So my final thoughts on this episode is, again, thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm glad you said yes to being the guest and coming on and dropping jewels on us and sharing your journey with us. I think that it's important for, women to see other women be successful and pour into each other. People of color to see other people of color pouring into each other, and we're shouting out the young people. It's important for all of those demographics to be able to get on here, see us fellowshipping and talking and empowering each other. So I thank you, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everything you've done, everything you're doing, and I know you're just going to continue to skyrocket. And in a minute, we're going to see you on, super humongous platforms, just, letting people know what you do and sharing your wisdom with the world. And I thank you, Ebony, for, agreeing to have Sabrina on the show and saying yes and embracing her on our platform. And yes, I saw my my Coaching with Purpose logo come up. You guys can now follow me at coaching _with _purpose on Instagram. You can also follow my page at coachwithpurpose.org if you want to do group coaching or individual sessions. I'm a wellness and transformation coach. I also work a lot with people who are working through all kinds of trauma, all kinds of different things, including financial things, including people who just want to go up from the inside out. So thank you so much. I love you guys.
Oh, anytime. That's what the Glow Up Show is all about. Make sure you check out Miss Sabrina with the Money Glow Up. Stay on point for that planner. Don't miss it, because once it hit, it's gonna be hotcakes. It's gonna be sold out, and then y'all gonna be hitting us up for a copy, because I know I'm gonna buy two. One for me, one to gift to plant a seed for somebody else. It's important for us to fellowship one another. It's important for us to keep God in the center. And thank you, Angie, because I want to give you your flowers. Angie came to me at a time in my life. The Glow Up Show just started in November. So it's fairly new, and it's up under the Diva Spot Podcast Lounge umbrella. I've been doing this for a while, but because of the depth that she brings, the love that she has for God, the obedience that she has for God, and because she's passionate about it, we get to keep and remain top tier, honey. And that's what it's all about. Because I said, if I'm going to go back going live and doing podcasts and getting back on the air, God has to be in the center. So I just want to thank you for that, Angie, for coming and being obedient to what God called you to do. And then now we continue in everything that's going on. So I'm super excited. Again, make sure you check us out. Follow us, follow Sabrina, follow Angie, follow me. But most importantly, keep God first, family second, and career third. Until the next time, keep your skincare tight and your front lace right. We'll see you guys soon. I love you guys.
Okay.
Young, black, and gold. start with us. Distant relatives of far, deep Nesha, maybe audit. Young, black and gold. Young, black and gold. Young, black and gold. We come from royalty. We are some kings and queens. Don't let them teach you other knowledge. Roots the tree. No need to hate each other. Let's find some unity. Let's organize for wealth. Build